Well, what a day it has been. Nice little walk through the park. Lovely view. And lots of ducks in nature. I like the park. Sorry about the mess. I've usually it's not what you think. We don't share toilet paper. I have to keep it on hand. The white man. I was at the park today. Amazing weather here in the UK, and it's just awesome to just walk around and just like observe nature, observe the people, and observe some really interesting things, like how, like, only there are very few women who are walking around and just taking in nature. Almost every single one of them was just talking, either to someone else or on their phone. And that's just how I wired, but I just found it so fascinating that the only people who were walking around and just generally taking in the scene were like dudes. And they usually had music on, sometimes they didn't, but they were just like basking it in. Even like the dog walkers, they were on the phone chatting to someone. It was like, it's just interesting noticing intersexual dynamics. I'm not putting a negative spin on it, but it's just fascinating. Also, the day game community is dead right now. Because I was just thinking, if I was to walk up and try and chat to one of these girls, there's a 50-50 chance I might pull the fucking personal space thing. Which is going to be really awkward, which you can pretty easily circumvent by just being jokey about it. Just be like, how's this? You know, like, try and be exactly 2 meters around and like orbit. It's fucking... I tried that once, it actually worked. But anyway, I was really impressed to make this video because after walking through nature for a while, I had a few insights into basically the nature of my life and my journey, especially when it relates to really achieving my goals and overcoming a lot of the self-sabotage and really striving to become something better. I don't think that's sparkling water. I don't know what I put in there, but that's not sparkling water. This is the thing. My room, tangent number one, my room is full of so many different jars full of like liquids, medicinal, and like just water, that I have to be careful what I just pick up and pour into a cup. Because I'm like, oh, that's garlic extract. That's freaking, oh god, like I now smell and my face is on fire. Brilliant. Oh wait, that's I don't know what that is. That's grown a colony. That reminds me of a funny story, because I have well, I don't have it with me, but in this bottle I've got like these like brown like little bits, and no, like it's pretty big, pretty large. They're actually water kefir. They're fermented water kefir. And my work colleague, I played a hilarious joke on her once, because they grow because they're alive, right? And she's a proper clean freak. She's what you would call, incoming sexist term, a Karen. Her name's pretty, anyway. I left it in the fridge after I'd finished it, in the staff fridge. And she came back to me one day. She said, "Oh, your drink is in the fridge." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me." And she's like, "Am I going mad or is it growing?" Because it's getting bigger. And I was just like, you know what, screw it. Yes, it's growing. And she freaked the fuck out. She was like, nope, the fuck out of there. Take it out of the fridge. Oh man, that was funny. And second tangent, I've lost my train of thought. Day game. Insights. Yes. I am sunbaked, man. But yeah, so I had some pretty interesting insights into like when it comes to overcoming sort of personal boundaries. And I realized too long didn't read before I got off into another tangent, that I'm subconsciously striving to be weaker. That even though consciously you may be sitting there and saying, oh, you have all of these amazing lofty ideas, or yes, you have all these amazing lofty goals, we actively try to fit ourselves into smaller boxes from what we are. And I think this came about because I still have some of these old thoughts about how I appear, and, you know, like trying to, if I don't catch myself, I'll like try and change my behavior, like, you know, I don't know, it's weird. Especially when it's around people, especially if it's around hot people. And it's like, I catch that now, and I'm like, no, relax, you know, whenever it comes up. But once it arose, and I just started thinking about it, and instead of dismissing it, I'm like, I just asked myself a question, and honestly, if you ask yourself questions, you will get answers. Like, well, for me anyway, the body will literally just tell me, you just come to mind. The problem is, if you've got 1,000 things in your head, and you don't trust yourself, and you're just like, whatever, or you don't want to face the answer, God, the amount of times I'm just like, I want an answer to this problem. Boom, it's right there, you know. I would be changing my behavior, and I just sat and I thought to myself, why am I doing this? Like, I asked it, what are you trying to achieve here by worrying about how you appear to others? What are you trying to achieve by changing your behavior in some way that feels uncomfortable, that makes you feel tense. What are you trying to achieve by that? And it just sort of hit me that, like, I'm trying to be less than I am. Because I couldn't come up with an idea of what I was going to achieve by changing my behavior to suit whoever the hell it was. I'm trying to fit myself into something smaller. Also, I realized that we often think that when we're walking around, we see a person and then that person is separate from us and then we must change our behavior to suit that person or something like that, you know what I mean? We're worried about what someone else thinks. But what I realize is that it's not other that you're worried about, it's self. You're worried about what you think of what they think you think. You don't know what they think. And it's an illusion that the mind sort of plays to sort of be like, oh, this person, over there. And then your attention goes over there, and the tension goes over there, it comes from there. It feels like it's coming from external, but actually it's like, no, it's you. It's you. It's like you're the one thinking that you need to change your behavior. And then when I drew that connection, it's like, oh, why the bleep am I doing this? Why the hell am I allowing myself to let these old patterns come into play? And basically dictate how I should act, dictate how I should talk, dictate how I should move, how I should walk, how I should do whatever the hell it was. Why the hell should I allow that to dictate it? And I was just like, oh, like it just stunned me how bloody simple it was. That there is no other. Other is also self. You think that there is self and there is other, but no, other is also self. Every single thought and opinion you think of what other people think you think is your opinion. It's yours. You made it. You control it. And there's no difference between someone who sits there and quote unquote doesn't give a crap, which I hate that because it's thanks to action movies, we think that not giving a crap means you're just an asshole, and it's like no, like there's a lot of responsibility when it comes to not. I'm not going to go into that. It's a long ass tangent. But yeah, it was just fascinating to see that like I'm trying to. It's almost like, and I came up with this last week. I remember it. I fear the heavy. Give me a moment, let me think and I'll edit this out. We embrace the hell because we fear the heaven. We are willing to suffer, we are willing to feel less than because we're afraid of those behaviors and patterns going away. We hold on to that identity of, being weak or in some way physically, psychologically, whatever the hell. We hold on to that identity simply because it gives us some form of safety. And I think that, for my case in particular, when you grow up in an environment where you're constantly made to feel small, and then whenever you stick your head up, it gets nailed down, you think, my greatness is something that I must hide. My greatness, my uniqueness is something that I must hide. Because ultimately, what you're trying to do is you're not trying to, when you're trying to obey these, these random OCD thoughts about how you need to please other people or comparing and contrasting yourself to them, is you're not trying to become better. You're not trying to become what you think they think you think. You're trying to become this shriveled monster of a tense mess that even they, if you were to vocalize your thoughts, wouldn't even want you to be. So it's like you're not even becoming something that your mind is trying to trick you into becoming. That doesn't exist. You're just it's not even feasible to obey those thoughts. It's not even feasible. It is honestly something that this is antibacterial hand wash. I thought it was lube once. Don't do it. Yeah. It's stung like a motherfucker. But anyway, you're trying to become something that you don't even know, that doesn't even exist. It's this ridiculous rabbit hole. And so, this is why a lot of the time when it becomes about being yourself, because no one can do you. You're better in the sense, you're better than everyone else because no one can be you. And from their subjective experience, they're better than everyone else because they can't be them. No one can be you. That automatically makes you leaps and bounds from your subjective experience. I don't like using these terms, but it's the only ones that we have. Better. But the problem is that when you think about that in the common terms, you think, you're better, you're just a better person. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, you are in an elite class all of your own. You know what I mean? There's freaking entry level, rank 1, rank 2, whatever the hell, general and commander. You're a god in your own goddamn universe. That's kind of ironic. And I'm probably going to get struck by lightning for that. But yeah, like, no one can do you. And every single attempt that you make to try and squeeze yourself in this tiny box of what you think other people expect you to be, because you've been told you need to do this, 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 and this, every attempt to do that is just squeezing the literal life out of you. And you're becoming, if you do it for long enough, you become a monster. And I know that firsthand. You become a freaking monster, man. And it's not enjoyable. And it's one of those memes in my life. It's the law of reversed effort. Every single time. The less you try, the more you get. It's the less you try to be yourself, the more yourself you are. But when you have all these images of what you should be and what should be, it's like I always remember, I had some of I was having some of these weird thoughts about what people would think about me walking around in the park on my own. Oh, he must be single. And there's some of the stigma that I'm thinking, that's the kind of shit that you think of in... I was just laughing because it's like, this is the kind of stuff you'd come up with if you were in school. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, she's single for a reason. It's like, oh, shit. And I'm like, what? Like, what? If anything, I was actually looking around, because this is a genuine fear that I find, is that I'm just freaking peacing out, just like listening to Ludovico Einaudi, classical announcer, and some other music, and I was looking around at a lot of the guys who were like in groups, and just looking at their body language and the way they were sort of grouped together, you can see that some of them, not all, are not comfortable being on their own. You know, they may seem like, oh, you know, they're all in a pack and they're having fun, whatever. So, yeah, especially the young, I'm talking about the young, like, before teens and then up to like 25 maybe later. Like, they're just like in a pack, they're all in the same body language, all usually beelining on some chick sitting on a bench. And I'm thinking, if I took one of these dudes and I said, just put on some music, relax and walk in the park, I can imagine that they're going to be going through the same shit about what are people thinking? How do I act? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Interesting thought for today. That's all I'm going to say for today, guys. I've got like 4 NoFap videos that I need to upload. And I'm going to upload one now with this one as a bonus. Special, consistent content. Peace.